Okay, so the challenge today is going to be to make 100 pips. Okay, and so we're going to make 100 pips, and what you're going to do in order to do that is you're going to reduce your position size. If you're trading at 0.05, I want you to cut it in half and round down. So 0.02 would be cutting it in half. This challenge right here is going to do a couple things. You're going to start looking like you're Sean. And this is what Sean does, where you're going to start stacking on all these trades. Did you know Sean has to actually go in and lower the opacity on his take profit line so that he can see? Because sometimes his thing looks like this. So get your chart to look like this is your challenge. All these order lines, right? Get your chart to look like this is your challenge. Have multiple trades on. Cool. I know this is not a challenge for you, but the challenge for you is to reduce your size. That's your challenge. Reduce your position size. Get a lot of trades on. And obviously you're going to hit 100 pips if you have 100 trades, but I don't want you to trade heavy. So getting 100 trades on is not the goal here, right? Get 100 trades on, make 1 pip, I'm done. That's not the challenge. The challenge is to be profitable still by making 100 pips with inside of normal rules. It is not, again, I'd stress this or not, it's not putting 100 trades on in one position and then I make 1 pip and there's 100 trades. This is not, we're not trying to game these challenges, right? What we're trying to do is learn that sometimes in markets like this, sometimes markets like yesterday, that you get, little tiny movements and you don't really know where, you have no idea where it's going to stop or where it's going to start. Sometimes it's better to go light, really light, and then place a lot of trades on in strategic points because you don't know where it's going to turn. You have no idea where it's going to turn. And so by reducing your position size allows you to have multiple positions inside of a run up or a run down and a lot of multiple positions. Make sense, guys, on the challenge?
I was anticipating a little bounce from here, but it didn't. So I'm going to wait, maybe perhaps see if it stalls a little bit on one of the action points.
So here, because you're trading 0.01, this is the principle that I'm trying to say is you don't need to wait. So you can easily start to get in early right here, but don't get in. The key here is also not to get, you just smack two trade. Don't put all your trades in the same position. You see how it just wicks down? There's another one. So you want to put trades on quickly, but you don't want to put them on in the exact same position. So that defeats the purpose of the challenge by stacking 4 trades on in the same exact spot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, this is a practice account. This is just practicing this technique. So when you just are practicing, it's kind of like, trying to practice at your free throws. It's the only thing you're doing. You're just shooting free throws. So yes, you still need to be cognizant to trend, bias, market structure, trying to figure out what direction the market's going because you're trying to make profit. But the principle of this challenge is still to make money, fix your trades. But the whole purpose of this challenge is to get you into a lot of trades because you're trading light.
Sure.
Does that make sense? And taking both positions. Like if you think it's going to come back down and retest, there's 2 pips there, get into some sells, get into some buys because you have the position size now. You have the bullets. It's kind of like where if you trade with a larger position size, you're kind of like sniping, and now you're using a shotgun, right? So that's the way I would envision it. That this is a shotgun method where you're just spraying the chart with a bunch of different positions on the chart. And so at some point, if you continue to do it, you're going to have a couple positions in the best place possible right on the turn. But if you're sniping, you got to, you're probably not going to have the best possible positions. Does that make sense?
I think so. And this is where the skill that I still need to get better at, because I think I told you I'm so one dimensional that when I have so many sales and so many buys on there, I get confused because then I'm losing on one side and I'm gaining on the other side. And
this is exactly why I want you to do this challenge right here. It's because you're missing a fundamental moment. And this is a demo account, practice account. So don't worry about messing it up. What you should be doing with this challenge is, see if I can, is anytime it moves lower, you should be building a layer here that's going to fix all of your trades here if it comes up to here and you take out a take profit. Does that make sense? So this should be strong enough and not too strong to where now you're if it does go against you, you need to be able to do it again down here and put another strong layer on, and for a turn, right? All you need is one price cycle. And this is I say that all the time. All I need is one price cycle to fix my trades, right? And what happens, what I see people do is not what you did, but where you're like, oh, before they even place a trade, they come in, oh, I'm at a bounce point, so I'm going to go heavy here. And then it comes down, and then they're like, oh, I can't, I'm out of positions. I can only go light. And then it goes down against them again, and then they get lighter. And so their heavy is here, and then they're lighter, and then they're lighter, and then finally they're out of bullets. And I'm trying to reverse that with you, Cool, because I don't know if that's your problem, but I'm guessing that that's your problem sometimes.
It's one of too many problems.
Well, I'm guessing that that's what gets people in trouble and that go heavy is they start heavy, right? And so the principle of this challenge is if you're going to do that, have enough bullets in the tank to where, yes, this could be heavy, but I can go heavier and I can go heavier still. And then all I need is one price cycle back again in my favor, and I can get to break even.
See, my thing is that because, again, I don't know if I'm using the right words, I'm so one dimensional that I either have to buy or I have to sell. But what you're teaching, and it hasn't registered yet, is that if you go, if the market, if it goes against you, and yet, like, for example, if I have a lot of buys and yet now it's changed direction on the sell, I've got to get enough sell in order to offset the buys. The losses.
So like right now, you often ask me about Wix. What's the Wix doing right this second?
Well, yeah, it's down. It's the pressure is on down, and so I guess.
And so you have the position size. So get into some sells for a ride down and testing the bottom again, right? And if it pops up, great. And if it pops up, it's in your favor. If it pops down, take advantage of the short ride, right?
So would you put a take profit like a 2 or 3 pips here, so that way sometimes I'm not fast on the trigger, right?
Sure, and that does come with that comes with just doing it enough to be able to react, right?
Yeah,
and that's why you practice so that you can have those reactions, right? So you have 100 trades that you could place at 0.01 and still be within normal trading at 0.01. And I don't know if I would go 0.01 on a $10,000 account just because that's a lot of trades. But because you are, and that's fine, but because you are, you don't be gun shy about placing trades. Does that make sense?
Not gun shy so much as I'll throw the whole tank at one thing. It's so
right,
much.
But there's a difference between throwing the whole tank in 1 or 2 trades versus throwing a quarter of a tank in 50 trades.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm telling you to do right now is throw a quarter of a tank at it and in the 50 trades, right? And get up to, because you're still at 20 trades. So get up there, get up to 40, 50 trades, don't start making your chart look splattered. Do you know what I mean? And again, what I'm trying to teach here is that you don't know where it's going to turn, but it's going to turn, right? And then the other thing you could do here as well is add a 2-pip take profit. So maybe add a 2-pip take profit, and you're hunting for just little tiny things. And this is exactly what I did yesterday when I was fixing my trades. So I went from 3% down, and I did it with this principle. With this, I reduced my position size, hunted for 2 pips, got into some high probability trade setups where I stacked it a little higher. It went from 3%, almost 4% down to 5% positive yesterday. Doing this technique right here in this market condition, I went for 2-3 pips. Sometimes I had take profits on, sometimes I didn't. Just depends on if we're in consolidation, which we kind of are right now. So I was able to find 2 to 3 pips on ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. Reduce my position size so that I could get out. And I did that on purpose because I was in my mind, I had limited bullets because I was already at a 3% loss. And so I limited my bullets, reduced my position size, but then when I saw a high probability trade, I smacked that button as fast as I could, right? Just reduce your position size. It's easy to stack pips. But if you stack the pips and are profitable, then you're trading correctly. I think you're actually trading better personally if you reduce your position size and are still able to pull out 1% in the market. So you're getting that run up right here, but you can also fade that too, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because I know we were talking about Donkey Kong, right? I remember, there's only a stick and a button that we put. And with the games nowadays, I remember when my nephews, they were playing, all their fingers were moving at the same time. And when I was playing my Donkey Kong, they're like sitting there making fun. They said, "Hey, one button." And so that's why I feel like sometimes, because there's so many things that's moving, that
Right.
I got to be multi-dimensional on this. And that's still, I struggle with that because I'm missing a lot of opportunities that I could
It definitely is a struggle for sure, because you're learning as you're doing, right?
Yeah.
But the more times you do it, the easier it becomes reactionary, and that's when you know that you got it down, right? And that's kind of what I love about wobbling, love about trading in the 1 minute, is it gives you so many at-bats, so many opportunities to see market structure change, market bias, all this kind of stuff, that if you ever decide to go back to a longer term trading, it's easier because you have that experience, and you can see where that is.
So I want to check out on the trades I currently have because of that potential rundown, so that way I can get more than 2 pips.
Sure. Let's see. Yeah, Hobble says, "You had it multiple times. Close it all." Good job, cool. Got the 100 pips. Good job. Yeah, Shane, can you click on this button real quick? And then press plot trades. And then you put your beginning, your ending, and hit OK.
I've tried it.
You put the price on there, right?
No, you put your order ID.
What is that?
Or over here, right here. This is your trade ID. So each trade has an ID to it, right? And so you say, okay, I want all orders between 5,000 and 1,000. 1,000 to 5,000, whatever your order ID is for the day, or you can plot all of them, but you have a ton of trades on.
I think I just got out.
You take profit.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, I'm done. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, but you didn't even know you were done.
It's because I was trying to talk and chew gum at the same time.
So, what's a takeaway from this?
I just got to practice be, at least in my terms, multidimensional, because you can make profits in the midst of all the other trades that you have by taking 2 pips. And yet, even though I know that here, it just takes time to try to know it here.
Sure. Was this stressful for you?
No, this was much. The other time you did it, I was all over the map and I didn't know how to go about doing it because I'm not used to. Obviously, I think all of us are so concentrated by our own silence and looking at it, and it's just me, myself, and I. When you have an audience and you're trying to, sometimes that gets in your head. And the first time it did get in my head. The second time, like this time around, not bad, because I know we're all struggling with various aspects of the same thing. But I know also, I guess in my explanation, you have an object in the middle of a circle table. And everybody surrounded, they're all going to see it from a different perspective. We're all looking at the one thing, but different perspective. And my angle I may get good at that angle, but I got to understand that, there's other people that may see it a little bit different. And I don't think, for me, I'm like, I know I'm very aggressive, but I need to use my aggressiveness at the right time. And I haven't been able to do that well enough. Sometimes for the most times, I think when I do, like I was trading with you, and I was able to do, I think on my live account, my funded account, 3.5%.
Right.
And then, just doing in fact, I did some counter trades of what you did. I'm like, I think I'm going to do this. And I think that's normal. I think that's normal for us to look at. I think it's going to, because it's all probability. My thing is that I need to see it a little bit more, like the Matrix, the forgive those for that are here and that are female, the redheaded, the red dress lady.
Right.
Right.
It takes your attention, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's all part of this experience that we're trying to go through. And, it takes a community to try to learn it. But, I've had, I think the highest I've gotten one day, it was about 1,500 pips as well. And I think sometimes that messes with my head.
What does? The fact that you're being successful?
Yeah. Because that success you can get killed right away the next day or the next trade.
So there's a difference between a fear of success and getting cocky. And I think sometimes as traders, we battle both those depending on your personality. Like, I used to say that, I got this trading thing down, and then the market would tell you that you don't, right? Then you kind of battle in your head where like, I'm a good trader, but then I struggle and you shakes your confidence. Or if you're up and you're afraid of success, you're like, I just want to hold on to what I have.
I don't think maybe that's all right. I don't think it's so much that. It's that I think sometimes for me that I don't mean to, but when you have too many successes, and you said this before, when you have too many successes, but yet you're not following the techniques and strategies that you and Sean are teaching, mm-hmm. Then that probably could be one of the worst things, that you become successful in that day or that trade, but yet it was more luck. But yet it goes along with that saying, it's better to be lucky than good, right? Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes that plays with my head when I was like, oh, okay, good. And then I relax a little bit, and then I just, 7% loss.
The challenge today was to make 100 pips. What are some of your takeaways on this challenge? And if anybody else has any, kind of walk us through how you did that, how you accomplished the challenge. You made 250 pips, but really your return is at 20%. And you did at 20%, 6.2, almost 0.25%. And you did that in how long did it take for you to do that?
Less than a half hour, I think, right? Since you're getting into the challenge.
Yeah, probably, 20 minutes, whatever, right? And so would you say that was a good trading for what you did?
I think so.
Okay, so walk me through maybe anything that you had, like an aha moment, kind of recapping what you saw.
I think the aha moment for me was just is that even though I've seen it done and you've done it, and I've seen some videos that Sean has done, is that you want to make profit within the trades, right? And that, even though it's going against you, you can take 2 pips here and there throughout the, and take advantage of the wobbling. And I think sometimes for me, it's like, I want to try to do a run when really it should be a wobble. You should be able to take out a couple pips here and there. And I'm waiting for a rundown like this, but sometimes those formation doesn't come up. But these formation here are the ones that you're able to scalp out a couple pips here and there. But I think overall for me, again, and this challenge I have is just be multi-dimensional, and at least that's how I explain it to myself. I don't know if there's anything else sometimes it's hard to answer a question that's not asked.
So I guess for me, the point that I'm trying to get and hit home for you particularly is, the point that I'm trying to hit home is that if you do trade with a reduced position size, it allows you to put more trades on at multiple different positions. And so like I don't know, I didn't look at this, but I would say that you never had 100 trades on at one point. I mean, every time I glanced down, you weren't there. Would you agree with that?
I not in this one, but I've done that on a couple occasions on the other ones I've traded on, but not on this. You're right. I didn't get to 100 trades here.
Right. But you still had a return of 0.20 and you were able to fix your positions. You closed out. Let's go look at your order history for a second. Don't mind. And then make it big so we can kind of look at this. It's probably on a different, there we go. Now scroll down. Look, you took losses. Scroll down. Let's see if you took any more losses. You took some losses. You took losses. Right? You starting to see what I'm putting together? But you took losses in this account and you still were able to be profitable because you were able to say, I'm going to put a layer on here. I'm going to put a layer on here. I'm going to get heavier on this layer so that I can fix this layer and pull that off. You can't do that if you don't have enough bullets. And if you are your own risk manager and you're trading in MT4, you're going to get yourself into a lot of hurt if you trade this way and you don't reduce your position size. You're going to blow up your account if you trade this way. But guess what? The market puts you in these situations daily. The market puts you in these situations to where you're losing, and now you either have to choose to go heavy to fix your trades, which is adding a huge risk, or you got to hunt for high probability trades and sit on your hands, or you start the day with a reduced position size and spread the charts. And that's exactly what Sean does. He trades a $50,000 account at a 0.10. It's the same thing as you trading a $10,000 account at a 0.01. But he is in, 100, 200 trades. And if he needs to, he'll go heavy on high probability trade setups. He'll go heavy to fix his trades to get back to break even. This is truly a technique that if you guys don't have, we should practice it a little more so you can execute it. This is a perfect execution of the challenge tool, by the way. So thank you very much. Meaning you made 0.20. You never got, probably your position size never exceeded, I don't know. You'd have to go back and plot your trades, but it probably never exceeded 0.80, never got close to the one lot, right? Thing, and you still made a 0.25. So those of you guys who 0.25 is your goal, and that's what you're hunting for, and that's a great day for you. Well, guess what? Cool just showed you how to do that in 20 minutes. In 20 minutes of trading. Now that's not good enough for cool.
Yeah, you got to move the decimal like maybe a couple of times on the other side.
But that doesn't mean it's not good enough for you.
For sure.
Cool wants 2%. So how do you get 2%? Let's say, how do you get 2% by trading this way? Cool.
Well, I mean, I'll probably trade my lot size either 0.05 or around that much, and then.
Well, I don't know if I'd go 0.05 because it eats into your bullets, but if you did go 0.02, you would have made 0.4.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you went 0.03, obviously you could have done that too as well. But by giving yourself that amount of bullets, that amount of position size, you could have doubled that. And now what it does do, this is the biggest thing. What it does do, and from a psychological standpoint, is it helps you to take off trades, to peel off bad trades early, because you have enough here that you're now winning, and I'm going to peel these guys off because I'm winning on these trades. Does that make sense? Yep. So if I was in the sells here and I got a layer here, and now I'm coming back down and I'm breaking even on these sells here, and now I'm coming down and I'm breaking even here. Do you see what I mean? And now I can get out of these guys. What happens is if you get a heavy layer here of sells, then you're heavy here, and then you're sitting here holding on to these trades, and because you have 0 trades here, and you're waiting, and now the market has the power. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Anyways, thanks guys, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Again, we'll do non-farm. I will create a separate event in the events tab on Discord, because we're going to start an hour early tomorrow. So an hour early tomorrow, trading non-farm. Okay. All right. Thanks guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.